Hello, I'm Rajinder Hans and you're watching TV Sarawak. Chief Minister Tan Sri Dato' Amar Adnan Satem highlighted the pressing need for doctors to be given more specialist training to fill up the growing need for specialist doctors in Sarawak. He reckoned that currently only Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences of University Malaysia Sarawak, UNIMAS, offers such training and that state government would give full support for UNIMAS to obtain a budget from federal government to set up their own training hospital. He said that Sarawak would work together with federal government to upgrade the facilities in urban and rural health centres in Sarawak to cater for its growing healthcare demand. Meanwhile, Associate Professor Dr. Kamaruddin Khanna has been elected as MMA Sarawak's president. Deputy Chief Minister Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Alfred Jabu Numpang said that Tagang system suits the rural community. Tagang system ensures long-term supply of fish because with this system, the fishermen need not use electricity to catch fish from the river. Tagang system has been implemented in Kajah in Ulu Ngemah, Baram, Long Lidong in Lawas and Lemana in Lubuk Antu. He also announced a government grant of 60,000 ringgit for the Sungai Bugau Tagang System Committee to turn their house cum post into a homestay. Heavy rain did not stop the people, including Chief Minister and Head of State, to attend and witness Kuching City Day Parade. Despite the downpour, the parade went on as planned with 59 groups taking part. Among the organizations sending floats were Kuching Water Board, Sarawak Energy, Kuching City North Commission, DBKU, Kuching City South Council, MBKS and AirAsia. Sarawak government supports the activities of Chinese associations here, be they religious or educational. Rural Development Assistant Minister Datuk Francis Harden Hollis has urged the Chinese community to cooperate with the government to ensure political stability and economic development for all. He added that the Chinese community which excels in the business sector are in a position to help the less fortunate, regardless of race and religion. He also mentioned that Kesatuan Sun Heng Simanggang showed they were capable of retaining their integrity and that they should be a role model to other associations in the state. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Tun Razak has urged all Malaysians to embrace a global mindset in order to take the country forward to greater success. PM highlighted this was in line with the world that is becoming increasingly hyper-connected, multi-directional and interdependent. However, he mentioned that this does not mean that Malaysians should detach from their roots or identity. Instead, Malaysians must be able to respond to global setting. According to him, the move making English compulsory subject to pass at university level is meant to prepare Malaysians to be more competitive. The Global Competitiveness Report 2014 and 2015 has recognized that Malaysia is relatively successful in fighting corruption and bureaucracy. Malaysia's ranking rose to 20th position among 144 countries listed. In 2013, Malaysia was in 24th position. The report also stated that Malaysia achieved its best placing among 144 countries in the Global Competitiveness Report 2014-2015, ahead of Austria, Australia, France and South Korea. The report noted that Malaysia is the only country in the world that has 5 independent panels that oversee a single corruption agency. The Global Competitiveness Report 2014-2015 by World Economic Forum WEF assesses that competitiveness landscape of 144 economies, providing insight into the drivers of their productivity and prosperity. The report remains the most comprehensive assessment of national competitiveness worldwide, providing a platform for dialogue between government, business and civil society about the actions required to improve economic prosperity. Brazil's October presidential race has been shaken up by the corruption scandal allegedly involving state-run oil firm Petrobras and dozens of lawmakers, with both leading candidates forced onto the defensive after colleagues were implicated. Media reported on Friday night that a jailed former Petrobras director had named dozens of politicians who allegedly received kickbacks of the company's contracts. The revelations are a headache for President Dilma Rousseff, undermining her reputation for zero tolerance on corruption just as she is slipping in the polls ahead of the October 5th election. It could also hamper opposition candidate Marina Silva. Arab League foreign ministers agreed on Sunday to take all necessary measures to confront Islamic State and cooperate with international, regional and national efforts to combat militants who have overrun swaths of Iraq and Syria. The Arab League also endorsed in the closing statement of its meeting in Cairo a UN Security Council resolution passed last month calling on member states to, quote, act to suppress the flow of foreign fighters, financing and other support to Islamist extremist groups in Iraq and Syria, unquote. Baghdad had earlier submitted a draft resolution endorsing its own efforts to confront militants who have seized large areas for a cross-border caliphate and to condemn Islamic State's actions as war crimes and crimes against humanity. Diplomatic sources said before the meeting that Arab foreign ministers were set to endorse a US aerial campaign against the group, and Egypt's official MENA news agency said the ministers would agree to coordinate with the United States. Sterling suffers a sell-off on Asian markets amid fears that yes vote could send the currency plunging by up to 10%. Sterling has slumped to its lowest in nearly 10 months after an opinion poll showed supporters of Scottish independence taking the lead for the first time since the referendum campaign began. The pound skidded nearly 1% to around $1.6165, reaching lows not seen since November, when trading opened in Asian markets on Monday. It later recovered to $1.6223, but there are fears it could fall up to 10% thanks to uncertainty about what might happen to the currency if Scotland votes to split from the UK. With 10 days to go from before the vote on 17 September, a YouGov survey for the Sunday Times newspaper put the Yes to Independence campaign at a 51% against, with a No camp at 49%. World number 1 Serena Williams swept past good friend Caroline Wozniacki 6-3, 6-3 in the US Open final on Sunday to move up in the record books with her 18th Grand Slam title. It was the third straight and sixth overall US Open crown for the 32-year-old American, her 18th career slams putting her alongside Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova for fourth place on the all-time list. Failing to get beyond the last 16 of the year's first 3 slams, Williams sailed through the US Open without dropping a set, finishing off Dane Wozniacki in a snappy 75 minutes. The most difficult part of the match for Williams appeared to be beating a player she calls one of her best friends. Malaysia's Loh Wee Wen outshined world number 5 Camille Serm to lift her second China Open squash title. The 24-year-old Wee Wen, who also won the title 2 years ago, defeated 25-year-old Serm 11-8, 11-6, 8-11, 8-11, 12-10 in 102 minutes. Japanese teenager Nozomi Okuhara won a second title of the season after beating compatriot Aya Ohori 21-15, 21-11 to win the Vietnam Open GP Badminton Championships in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. The 19-year-old Okuhara, the 2012 World Junior Champion and winner of the New Zealand Open in April, took only 36 minutes to whip 18-year-old Ohori, the 2013 Asian Junior Champion, in the women's single final. While this has all the makings of a great low-budget horror movie, Mutant Giant Spider Dog is actually a prank video that has gone viral. The video is by Sylwester Wardega, who is a Polish prankster. In the video, a dog named Chica is dressed up like a giant spider and terrorizes unsuspecting people. In addition to Chica as a giant spider, the prank also involved props of human body parts caught in giant spider webs. Our favorite scene, though, has to be the elevator scene. In just a couple days, the video has gone viral, racking up over 22 million views on YouTube already. Cafe finds a ban on laptops and tablets earns better business, and this might help local cafes increase their sales. While being glued to a mobile device has become a common part of 2014 life, a couple in Vermont has reaped financial rewards by rejecting 21st century technology at their bakery August 1st. Wife and husband team Jody Whalen and Phil Merrick banned laptops and tablets from their Burlington-based bakery earlier this year after determining that laptop patrons spent much more time and much less money at the eatery than the average customer. For August 1st, the ban resulted in 20% year-over-year sales growth in the early months and now hovers around 10%, both an improvement from the company's pre-laptop ban average of 5%. Time to rethink the common lifestyle? What happens when you compile a bunch of footage from the GoPro channel? You get one amazing video, all from the first-person point of view. Enjoy this supercut of GoPro footage. That's all for today. I'm Rajinder Hans and thank you for watching TV Sarawak.